Welcome to my second episode of Your Silhouette. My name is Elissa, and I am so grateful today. I can't even express it just for everything that I'm creating, everything that I have to be here with you, to have you here with me. So, if this episode found you, buckle on in because do I have a message for you today? Last episode, we were talking about control, surrendering, living a soul led life. We touched on survival mode, we touched on trauma responses, and I feel like I could make this like a whole series, to be honest with you. But it's interesting because, as most of you know, I do tarot readings on YouTube, on TikTok, and it has been nonstop in the energy coming up where we in the collective are in survival mode. We have been struggling to come out of that continuous stress. It is still unresolved. We are just in this place where we have a very full plate. We are feeling very overwhelmed, and some of us feel like we just want to throw in the freaking towel. It's scary. And we're not meant to be in this situation anymore. We just entered Libra season at the time of this recording, and that is all about restoring balance in our life. Yes, please, harmony within ourselves, within our relationships, and really ending that pattern where we're in the same freaking thought loops every single day, the same words, the same stories in our head. I mean, humans have like what, like hundreds of thousands of thoughts per day. I don't know, someone get me the science on it. But how many of that is repeated from the day before? That's literally a bummer. Like, no way. We don't have time. If you have found my podcast, if you are listening to this right now, then newsflash for you, you have a divine purpose to wake up. You have a calling. We don't have time to be stuck living in the past or worrying about the future. It is time for us to start learning to trust in the universe, in God, in Source. It's time for us to understand that worrying is suffering twice. Write that one down. Truly. If it's going to happen, it's gonna happen. No amount of worrying or stressing or trying to prepare can stop that. I remember when I was little, I used to lay in bed, you guys. Okay, I was a very anxious child, and like prepare how I would react if somebody came to kidnap me, if I was being sexually assaulted. I mean, like the worst of the worst, all of these fears. What would I do? And the killer is did some of those fears manifest? Yeah, they did. Did I feel prepared? No, not quite. Not from worrying. So, really, the only thing that we can do is let go and understand that if something's going to happen, it's going to happen. And this is when we have to learn to trust ourselves that we can handle it, that we are equipped, that all that time we spent in trauma, in survival mode, there's some positive there. It made us resilient. I know that can tick a lot of people off hearing that, but it's about finding the gem and releasing the rest. So I am challenging you right now. Be open to things can be easier and more divine, more magical than you have ever experienced, than you can even picture in your beautiful, cute little brains. Truly feel. The first step to that is to just pause and ask ourselves, is this really my responsibility? And really ponder that. Just because survival mode taught you that you can handle it all doesn't mean that you have to. Learn to trust in your morals. Learn to trust in your truth. Learn to trust yourself, to hold yourself accountable, to do the things you promise yourself that you're going to do. Do not back burner your own morals, your own values, your own self-promises. I talked a little bit about our masculine and feminine energies last episode, and you'll hear me talk about them again and again because it's critical. We have to be willing to explore these masculine and feminine energies within us. Misusing our masculine energy to stay in survival mode and take on more than we can or more than we should is the problem we have with masculines in general as a society. That is toxic masculinity, my loves. That's another episode. But please have the patience instead. Use that masculine energy to have the patience to accept what already is and to trust yourself that you are well equipped to handle anything that comes your way, not just with yourself, but with the power of the divine. But in order for us to even allow ourselves to open up to our feminine energy, we have to trust ourselves. Our feminine needs to trust our masculine to keep ourselves safe. She's not going to want to come out from the dark basement, the bunker that you stuck her in, unless she knows that she has a safe environment to actually feel. So that is step one. Self mastery requires self awareness. It's about understanding who you are. Once we know yourself, you allow yourself to embrace that masculine energy to get to know your own soul. Then you can master your feminine energy to understand your own gifts. Because guess what? We all have them. A lot of you guys will put me on a pedestal and, see me as this, like, I don't know, this divine guru. And it's like, in a sense, you're absolutely right. But how am I any different than you other than the fact that I've done the work? Our gifts might be different, but you have your own divinity within you. I promise you. And honestly, by you rejecting that, you're just feeding that cycle of shame by ignoring and not listening to your own truth. You guys, shame is the core wound of suffering. I'm telling you, I would be willing to bet so much. This is just from my own personal experience and what I've observed, but I've been around a lot of hurt people. I've dealt with my own darkness and I've seen it in addiction, I've seen it in mental health, and we do not have to live this way. It wasn't until somebody gave me a safe space to explore my shame did my life really, truly start to shift. And I am forever grateful, and that's what I am striving to offer you here today and always. I will do my Scorpio. I will have ego death right in front of you. I will wear my vulnerability on my skin like a superpower because it is, by the way, to mirror to you guys to do the same. Hello, I'm not calling myself your silhouette because I think it's cute. I am literally your shadow, the light and the dark. So not only do I want to help you, but hello, spirit wants to help. I promise you this. I am so passionate. You don't even understand. And you don't have to take my word for it. I understand it's hard to trust. That's how we get into survival mode to begin with. Hello. Synchronicity is my Bible, and I encourage you, I challenge you for the next couple of days, for 1 week until the next episode. Stop living thinking everything is coincidence. Please notice the signs, repeating numbers, dreams, signs from nature, animals. You're thinking about it and then you notice that it happens. You're thinking about somebody and they message you. Everything, everything is a sign. Spirit is always communicating with you. The divine is within everything and everyone. It's all around you. Everything's a mirror, which will probably be my next podcast. But it's beautiful because it can't be taken from you. When we're in survival mode, we're so ready to have the rug pulled out from underneath us. It's like we're constantly like clutching on and we're in constant unhealthy attachments. And synchronicity, the divine, that's not going anywhere. That is eternal and it is there. You don't have to do anything but open yourself to receive it. So please challenge yourselves to open your heart to spirit. They are the love and the protection that you seek. Release that self obsession, wondering about bills, kids. Guys, I completely get it. I'm a human being too, having a human experience. I have been working for a long time on my healing journey, and I've been working through mastering not even getting into burnout, not only mastering, burnouts, but mastering not getting back to that place. And I feel like I just had this realization where it's like, holy shit, okay, I've been mastering not getting really bad and hitting rock bottom. Good for me. But I've absolutely still been in survival mode, stressed about certain aspects. And I kind of had this awakening moment where I was like, Elissa, what are you doing? You're not living non attached. You're still trying to control the outcome. And listen, it's because I have two beautiful children that rely on me. I have a collective that relies on me. I have my own personal stuff, right? But none of that worrying has ever changed anything. What has changed, in fact, has been me setting my intention. Spirit knows my heart. Spirit knows my highest good. And I relax. I take a step back. I have been challenging myself, practicing mindfulness, if you will, to really pay attention to the thoughts that come up in my brain. And like I said earlier, it's like just this freaking loop of these anxious thoughts and worries about, money. What are the kids doing in school? Where do I have to be? What do I have to do for work today? Can I schedule that? Like, it is crazy how far gone we can go and we don't even realize it. And let me be the example that you do not have to do this perfectly. Like I just shared, I am part of the human consciousness here. I am still learning. I am on my own journey. And by no means am I perfect. I'm still evolving. And I am so blessed. I am so plugged into the divine. I receive signs 24/7 all the time. I see it. I'm plugged in and spirit blesses me every single day. So let that be your physical proof that you don't have to get it right all of the time. You just have to set the intention within your heart. You have to meet spirit. You have to meet universe halfway. It is time to unlearn what we think that we know and understand that the light we're looking for is within us. The light within you is the real you. For some of you, you may be going into ego death. You might be going into the dark night of the soul. If you would like an episode about that, let me know. Don't fear that. Embrace that. Surrender that. Show gratitude for that because you are protected and you are about to finally discover who you were meant to be this entire time. It's not about becoming anything. You already are that version of yourself. It's letting go of all the other freaking crap. I think sometimes that we can get into survival mode because we are, like I talked about a lot in the first episode, trying to control the outcomes here. We have a certain idea for what we want in life and what we're trying to make happen. We don't realize that the journey we set ourselves out on ended up being the catalyst for where we're actually meant to go, for where our higher selves sees us, for where God wants us to go. So again, I challenge you to be open to the fact that things can be easier and more magical than you could ever imagine. Allow yourself to reflect how hard it has been for you to make these changes and really embody the promises that you want to make yourself, holding yourself accountable, and release anything or anyone else that does not fit. They can't come with you. I talked about this in the first episode as well, as far as nobody's coming to save you. That goes both ways. You can't go and save someone else. Humans have limited capacities. We all deserve compassion 100%. And we all deserve a chance to spiritually awaken. It is on our own soul journey. And sometimes people have to reach rock bottom. I know that I did. You can choose right now in this moment to surrender and start paying attention to where spirit wants to take you. You can choose to be fully seen, loved, and recognized for who you are. That is a gift. Dedicate yourself to personal development. Dedicate yourself to your healing journey. I believe it was Buddha that said all suffering comes from attachment. The goal is non-attachment, to fully enjoy and engage in what is present, the relationships, your work, your hobbies, without being reliant on those things to make you happy. Coming from a full place, a full cup. There truly are blessings in trauma responses. For example, I'm talking about non attachment right now. That could be looked at as the freezing dissociation trauma response, where we're completely shut off emotionally, personally, mentally. We're in self preservation. We're just trying to protect ourselves, but we are completely shut down. Our brain will forget. We will just have these blank spaces of time. There are so many chunks of my life that I do not remember because I was just dissociated. You guys, you can make dissociation your bitch, okay? You can learn how to master this into something that works for you, non-attachment. Really think about it. In survival mode, you're already living like, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. I can't get attached to this because I'm so focused on, my day to day and what's in front of me and getting my needs met, which I really want to emphasize this. I know I've said this, but I can't express it a lot. Survival mode is a breeding ground for narcissism. Okay? Narcissists are quite literally just little tiny babies. And I'm not being rude by saying that. I mean it. They're little babies just trying to get their needs met. They can't think outside of that. They can't see anything outside of their own shit. You can come out of that and expand and build that spiritual muscle, that brain muscle even, to move into non-attachment. This is going to allow you to start enjoying what it is you work so hard for. I've been saying that like crazy, like I just started this business, right? I run my own business. I'm a single mom. I'm like doing all these different things. And I sat down and I was like, what is this all for? I feel like a fucking robot. I am constantly just, sleeping, working, just like going through the motions. I'm not even being present. And I'm like, for what? Literally for what? And that's when honestly my business was struggling the most because I wasn't being present. I wasn't connected with not only you guys, but my own children, my own family. It's vital that we learn how to master coming out of a trauma response and practicing non-attachment. And all of that worry, you can just give it to source, to spirit. You can surrender it all. And I promise you, spirit will continuously send you feedback, signs, synchronicities, serendipities about where you need to be going, what you need to be focusing on. If you're going in the wrong direction, they'll make that obvious too. But you have to tune in. You guys, it gets to a point, I told you about my friend in spirit, my last episode, where when I get into my survival mode and I'm just trying to, get through these readings and I have to go on live and I have to get my kids to, do X, Y, and Z, I'm going, going, going. I'm not taking the time to be present. She literally sends me spiders. Like, it is not a joke. She will get loud. But guess what? She was trying to send me signs way before that. Okay? Don't play uncle with the universe. They will get louder. I promise you that. My wonderful friend Bethany said something so beautiful to me the other day, and I told her straight up, I was like, this is going to stay with me forever. She said, pray from faith, not hope. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, oh my God, you just fixed my brain. So shout out to Bethany for that. And I'm passing it on to you guys. But you need to take care of yourselves. You need to fill up your own cup. And I know that that is very unfamiliar to so many of us. Let's end that. I feel like it gets a reputation for like being selfish or something, and like selfish has turned into a bad word in society. Imagine if the whole world was just a little bit more selfish. If we all just filled up our own cup just a little bit, how much more peace and love that could really bring to us. Truly, remember that the key to happiness is you. You are the key. You are the alchemist of your own life. I'm going to talk to you guys next episode how everything is a mirror and how we can make those changes to really align with our highest vibration. But I just felt very, very inclined to make this episode a little preachy. Spirit wants to help you guys. They want to reach you. They want to work with you. They love you so much, whether you have somebody that is on the other side or not. You have ancestors. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that alarm, but there's a sign for you. It is time. Like for real, I'm not even gonna edit that out. I'm leaving that. Signs and synchronicities are everywhere. Wake up. Pay attention. I love you so much. I'll see you next episode.